The sun was high above the California desert, casting long, hazy shadows across the highway. Inside the bus, the excited chatter of children echoed. Tommy and Johnny sat in the back, flipping through a comic book, while Rebecca and Janice giggled over a shared bag of gummy bears. The air conditioner hummed, struggling against the heat, and Mrs. Daniels, the lead chaperone, fanned herself with the crumpled itinerary. It was an ordinary school trip, the kind she'd led a dozen times before. "Everything okay up there?" Mrs. Daniels called out to the driver. "Just fine, ma'am," he said, his eyes fixed on the empty stretch of road ahead. It was quiet for the time of day. Route 66 was usually dotted with passing cars and the occasional semi-truck, but today, the road was eerily deserted. A flicker of movement in the distance caught his eye. A figure, standing alone in the middle of the highway, just a dark blur against the shimmering heat. The driver slowed the bus. Mrs. Daniels stood, her brow furrowed, as the shape became clearer. A man, tall and broad-shouldered, wearing a faded coat. His head was lowered, a shadow obscuring his face. "What the hell?" the driver muttered, tapping the brakes. Mrs. Daniels' heart quickened. She didn't like the look of this. "Maybe we should go around," she suggested, stepping closer to the front. But it was too late. The figure raised its head, revealing eyes as hollow as the desert around them. A sick grin spread across the man's face, as if he had been waiting for this moment. The bus lurched to a stop. Without hesitation, the man strode forward, his long coat swaying in the wind. He moved with purpose and feral speed. The driver unlatched his seatbelt and stood, confusion etched on his face. "Sir, you need to move." The door slammed open with a metallic shriek, and the man was inside in an instant. His hands moved quickly, almost gracefully, one gripping the driver's neck, the other pulling something from beneath his coat. Mrs. Daniels screamed as she saw the jagged blade, long and cruel, flashing in the sunlight. The children in the back gasped, their giggles replaced with terrified silence. Before anyone could react, the blade was buried in the driver's chest, a sickening crunch of bone and flesh. Blood spattered the windshield, and the driver collapsed, gurgling as his life drained out onto the rubber mat below. Chaos erupted. The children screamed. Rebecca and Janice clutched each other, their gummy bears spilling onto the floor. Tommy's eyes were wide, frozen in his seat, unable to process what was happening. Mrs. Daniels fumbled with her phone, her shaking hands dialing 911.
911?
"Please, someone, help us. He's killing them." Her voice cracked, panic rising in her throat. The man turned slowly, his hollow eyes locking onto her. His grin widened. In one swift motion, he was on her, the blade flashing again. She raised her hands to defend herself, but it was useless. The knife carved through flesh, through bone. Mrs. Daniels crumpled to the floor, her blood pooling beneath her as the children watched in stunned horror. The man straightened, his face calm, serene even, as if this was just another task to complete. He wiped the blade on his coat and turned to face the children. His voice was soft, almost soothing. "Don't be afraid," he said, stepping over the bodies. "I'm not here for you. Not yet." He moved down the aisle slowly, savoring the terror in their eyes. Tommy, Johnny, Rebecca, Janice, each child too frozen to scream, too frightened to run. He reached the back, his boots echoing on the metal floor. Tommy flinched as the man's hand touched his shoulder. "No," Tommy whimpered, his voice barely a whisper. The man smiled again, that same hollow smile, and crouched down to meet Tommy's eyes. "You're coming with me," he said, his tone sweet, like a parent coaxing a child to bed. "You and your friends. It'll be over soon." With a grunt, the man stood and grabbed Johnny by the arm, pulling him from his seat with terrifying ease. One by one he took them, Tommy, Rebecca, Janice, leading them toward the front of the bus. As they passed Mrs. Daniels' broken body, Rebecca's sobs grew louder, her tiny fists clenched in fear. Please, don't." The man didn't even glance at her. His mind was elsewhere, already moving beyond this moment. Outside, the sun beat down on the empty highway, the wind carrying the sound of distant sirens, too far away to matter. The bus doors groaned shut behind them. The police arrived minutes later. What they found was something straight out of a nightmare. 2 bodies, torn open, as if by some animal. Blood coated the seats, the walls. But the children, they were gone. Not a trace. No footprints, no signs of struggle. Just a single message scrawled in blood on the windshield. "The Black Easter is coming."